European Adventures, Cup Classic in Glasgow. As fucking usual. Tan bringing the fucking vibes. Dan, play the jingle.
Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the footballpodcast, episode 7 of season 4. My name is Fennan, and joining alongside me for a very interesting episode this evening, I've got two wonderful gentlemen. Not one, but two wonderful gentlemen. Starting off, I've got Mayhem. How you doing, my friend?
Flying high, mate. Flying high.
Flying high. Good for some. And welcoming back a man who was a little bit under the weather last time out, but he has returned. And I'm very excited to have him back. Gondor, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright.
You doing alright? You doing alright? But the main question is, are you alright?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, mate, honestly, it's a good thing that we start off with you, Mayhem, because this episode's going to get really, really sour and gritty and toxic. I'll try to minimise that as much as possible. But let's start off with the good. Celtic kicking off their Champions League campaign in emphatic style. A 5-1 victory over Slovan Bratislava, and then following that up with a 5-2 victory over Falkirk yesterday afternoon. Mayhem, share your thoughts of what took place. It was a brilliant performance against Slovan Bratislava. Falkirk, obviously there was a bit of a rotation, and the first half didn't seem quite as dominant as it was in the Champions League. But look, share your thoughts, enlighten us with your analogy.
Finally! Finally we're sitting here. Match day 1 of the Champions League. And if it wasn't for Bayern absolutely deleting Dynamo Zagreb, would be top of the table, and I would be petitioning UEFA to cancel the Champions League and award the trophy as standards are right now. As it is, we're second, and that'll have to do. But it was an air of anticipation, but there was also nerves. Expectation was fully on the players. We knew, even though it was match day 1. We needed 3 points. We had never won on match day 1, hence the finally reference.
Of course.
I mean, The Rock didn't show up. That was just. But yeah, there was a wee bit of nerves going into the game, as there always is when these occasions build. No matter who the opponent was, and obviously we went in as big favourites. Vladimir Weiss was kicking about on the other team.
Oh, which, and the Celtic following certainly made his presence known by all means.
You just hate when they've got such a rat fuck on the other team. Just that, if we're going to concede, please, anyone but him. And thankfully, he was utterly dog shit on the night, which is even better.
At every opportunity, he was completely shut off from creating anything for Bratislava.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought we started the game with a good control on it, moved the ball really well. We looked sharp. In the early stages, we did get caught on 1 or 2 counters, and you thought, all right, boys, settle down here. Bratislava, I think they're coming off the wing once, and one was deflected over the bar, which on other match days you just knew that would have looped into the top corner. So when that goes and lands on the roof of the net, you think, all right, fair enough. I'm glad I was scared here. And I think it's about time we issue a public apology.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
And this man has come under a lot of heat, especially from myself, and I think from a lot of Celtic fans. He's done, and in lots of ways, he's done nothing wrong. We've said a lot of the time, I think he's playing at his maximum, but it's maybe just not good enough. Well, Liam Scales, step up and tell us all to shut the fuck up.
Honestly, right. I turned into Lee Judges when that goal went in. I was like, he's fucking done it again.
Arnie Engels whips in an absolutely delicious ball. I mean, the ball was a work of art. Liam gets his head on it, basically heads it through the keeper. He just wasn't taking absolutely no prisoners, and fucking absolutely thunder fucks it with his head through the keeper into the net. Lift off, and we've got the goal. Now let's play. I mean, Kyogo could have had one straight after as well. I think their keeper, even though he ships 5, I thought he had a decent night.
He did. He makes a really good save at that Kyogo opportunity after that first goal.
One of the only players that we can probably hold their head high after that. Kyogo has another chance as well, where we kind of nick the ball back off him, slide the ball in, cut it back across on his left foot. He kind of snatches at it and it goes high over the bar. But yeah, we were well on top, and we're going off at half time thinking, we should be 2 or 3 up here. Are we going to be made to rue this? But no. Second half, we come out. Alistair Johnson clips a lot. Alistair Johnson, I think we've spoken enough about him on the podcast. I think he's been fantastic from the start of the season. This was no different. Clips a lovely ball, sort of round the left back. Nicholas Kuhn onto it. Beautiful ball across. Kyogo just kind of stands there, lets the ball hits him. 2 up, breathing space.
It just hits him in the leg and it goes in. But again, it was the best start you could have to a second half.
And an absolute lift off that gives us, we can just kind of breathe a wee bit. We can relax into it. We know that we've got the second goal, and it isn't going to be. There's going to be no dodgy equaliser, and we can breathe a wee bit. And then, not too long afterwards, the ball bouncing around in the box. Alistair Johnson goes up for it. His foot's kicked. He goes down. It's one of those European penalties. I think probably domestically it gets waved on, and it's one of those where VAR would stick with the on-field ref's decision, and that's what they do in this case. And Arnie Engels, 20 years old. Pressures for tyres. Little stutter into the bottom corner. Same place he put
Arnie Engels, that's for sure.
Stutters, same place he put the penalty in the league game. 3-0 up, coasting, and then out of nowhere, Wimmer, or whatever his name is.
Wimmer, yes, of all people, that was a name that we were once upon a time familiar with. If you were following Premier League football back in the mid 2010s, when he was on the books of Tottenham and then followed on to play at Stoke, pulls off one of the most ridiculous of techniques.
Scores an absolute peach.
Out of nothing. I think it does take a nip off of Carter Vickers' head, though, doesn't it?
Very, very slight, but it'd be hard to
take away the finish. Yeah, absolutely not.
Fantastic goal. But we didn't let it derail us. We're straight back into the flow of the game. And Deza Maeda had a chance in the first half, and as big games, he seems to find himself on the score sheet, and he does again. It was very tight, but again, the new offside system working miracles, and we don't have to rely on Scottish refs with shit camera angles when UEFA's in town, which is good. And he, little slip ball through, takes a touch and buries it 4-1. And we know now 3 points on the board, happy days. But can we go and get our biggest ever win in the Champions League and step forward a man that may just take over this podcast in about 5 minutes? Adam Eder, first goal. He should have had his first goal against Hearts, but Lewis Palmer, he may come up in a minute as well. Fuck that lazy cunt. He couldn't get onside in the league game, but nothing stopping Eder this time. Brilliant finish, really cultured, composed.
Yeah.
Slots absolutely. It in. This from a man that Norwich fans were saying, it said he gets nervous in front of goal. On the biggest of occasions, on the biggest stage, 60,000 roaring him on, tucks it away, 5-1, done. And perfect performance, gets us off the mark. Yes, there'll be tough trips. Yes, we've got Signa and Dunner Park in our future. Yes, we've got Atalanta that held Arsenal. Not the only time they drew this week.
Get onto that a little bit later.
But brilliant way, and it just gives that feel-good factor. So when the next home game does come around, again, I know it's against Leipzig, it'll be a tougher test, but we've got home games against Club Brugge in this competition. We go away to the likes of Dynamo Zagreb. These are teams that now we've got a foothold in the competition that, we really should be targeting. Young boys at home as well. And if we can get points against them, then, we can try and target that first and foremost target of finishing in the top 24 and getting into that playoff scenario where we can potentially get into the last 16. So job done, tick it off, happy days. Alistair Johnson did come off and he was holding his back, so we were pretty sure we were going to be without him going into the Falkirk game, and we expected rotation, and rotate we did.
Absolutely.
Anthony Ralston, I've got something to say on him. We had Welsh at the back, Austin Trusty, Veo, that guy.
Valley Boyle. Bernardo in midfield.
Yes, Pablo Bernardo obviously coming in as well. And then Adamida up top, James Forrest, Lewis Palmer. So there was heavy rotation in the squad, but it was something that we expected. I think it was something that we needed as well. We've been playing at such an intensity that when these games come up, I think we do need to take stock and allow the squad to come in and play. And yeah, first half
wasn't the best. It felt like Falkirk.
Where's Liam Scales? How can you drop this guy?
He's just world class. He's different gravy. Why are you dropping Frosting Trusty? Why by all means?
I mean, we had an early chance. James Forrest pulls out a fantastic save from the keeper, and if that goes in, it's probably a different day. And we're saying, it was absolutely the right thing to do to rotate the team, and we probably run out really comfortable winners. But you kind of knew what day it was going to be 11 minutes in when McIver, who through the accent on the commentary, I thought he said MacGyver. I thought, fucking hell, he did make something out of nothing. Ball drops to him. Ball drops him about 20 yards out. And fucking rifles it in the bottom corner, beating Casper. We thought, right, here we go. We're in a game, boys. Falkirk have come to play. You've got Hearts, the third best team in the country, that come to Celtic Park just a week ago and shat the bed, sat back, didn't fucking offer anything. You've got Rangers, the second biggest team in Scotland, that come and absolutely shat the bed. But Falkirk come here to play, and play they did. Fair play to them. We equalise. Hatati's on the wing, lovely clip ball into Vai. I'm going to go with Vai. I'm sticking with it all season.
We're going to go with Vai from now on.
Didn't have his best game, Vai. Poor debut. And he's got big shoes to fill. Greg Taylor, the contract situation around Greg Taylor rolls on. A Celtic not offering him a contract. Does Greg Taylor maybe want to do, take on a different challenge? I mean, the guy's completed Scotland. Do you know what I mean? How many more trophies can he win? But for the love of God, Greg, sign a fucking contract.
Please, Greg.
But Vai, beautiful, beautiful cushion header down, and Bernardo, an absolutely beautiful finish. That guy has got.
It was all right, wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't a bad finish, I must say.
He's a Portuguese star, filling the void of that other Portuguese star that now plays in France.
Don't do it. We get emotional when we think about that person who shall not be named.
And the first half is drawn to an end, and you think, all right, this has been a bit poor, but let's just get in, boys, regroup, come out. Still at 1-1, and we'll kick on. Nah, that's not going to happen. Cross comes in, and Yeats is alone in the box and just heads it back from where it came. 2-1 down. And you start to think, oh, fuck. What's happened here? Second half kicks off, and again, we're flat. Not much really happening. And I don't think it was in the plan, but Brendan has to look to the bench. Arnie Engels, on you come. Greg Taylor, on you come. Nicholas Kuhn, on you come. And Yang coming off the bench. I mean, that's a shit Palmer.
Yang came off the bench. I missed that part.
He replaced him with Palmer. Lewis Palmer, right? No pace, no direction. I think the left wing, barring Days and Maeda, is cursed, right? Because a lot of people had Mikey Johnson out of this club. Lewis Palmer could be in for the South American equivalent.
Never
right
thought
now.
Mikey Johnson's name would come up again after he fucking left Celtic, but here we are.
That's the comparisons we're having to draw at the moment. That's how bad the guy is. Someone who isn't that bad, Nicholas Kuhn. This guy signed in January, right? Didn't really set the world alight. Given time, we were told he wasn't quite fit. Well, now we're seeing what a fully fit Nicholas Kuhn can do, because this guy may just yet be the replacement for Jota. What a performance for however long he was on for about half hour, maybe. What a performance. Basically, on the park for 10 minutes, the ball gets recycled from a corner. He's slipped in beautifully, fires it across the goal. Adam Eder, bang, 2-2. Adam Eder's running back to the halfway line. Apparently, the only person in Scotland that thinks that the game can't get restarted and it needs checked is the pricking fucking VAR, trying to draw the lines, trying to desperately, can we rule it out? No, you can't. Fuck off. And then kick off, Nicholas Kuhn straight onto the left back, nicks the ball back, ball into Adam fucking Eder. Touch, bang, 3-2, lift off. A lot of that's relief, but absolute lift off. Adam Eder's back. And he's back with a bang.
Back with a bang.
I wish he'd have got his hat trick, but Nicholas Kuhn scores a lovely goal as well. Absolutely volley from outside the area to make it 4-2, and then maybe a wee bit harsh on Falkirk because it ends up 5-2 in the end as well. Nicholas Kuhn gets another, so he's on 2 assists, 2 goals in half hour. Job done. Sheep in the semi-final.
Yeah, and I did notice that Falkirk go down to 10 men as well quite early on in the second half.
No, it was 90th minute. 90th minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was already 5-2.
I saw there was a red card next to Falkirk, and I didn't watch the game, so I couldn't remember if it was what time in the game it was.
I guess by the letter of the law, it was a red card. He's stretching for. I don't think there's any malice in it. I guess only the player will know. Stretching for the ball, one of those ones where he's stretching, and the player kind of comes into his vicinity, and his foot kind of hits the player. He's high up on Ralston's knee. Probably the most effective thing Ralston did in the game was getting fouled and getting the other player sent off. That guy. I mean, if you want to play a drinking game where you're watching Celtic and Ralston's playing, you take a shot every time he passes backwards. He is a momentum killer.
You should watch Cardiff play, mate. You'd be fucked.
But all in all, it was a great cup tie. Falkirk were truly the underdog, and they performed in that role superbly. Their fans were very vocal throughout the game, and they can be extremely proud of the performance because it was a fantastic, valiant performance in the end. As most of these cup ties happen, they just maybe put a wee bit too much into it, and the legs went, and the quick fire double when they were 3-2 down, they didn't really have a response. And the scoreline flatters us a wee bit, especially from the first half performance, and probably 15 minutes into that second half, the scoreline doesn't really tell the extent of the full match. But ultimately, job done. We've got that done and dusted. Back to the bread and butter on the weekend here. Back to domestic league action away to St Johnstone. We get to listen to the Dorset tones of Craig Levine. But all in all,
can't believe he's still even going, if I'm honest. But then, of course, after league action against St Johnstone, it's your first big test of the Champions League campaign, and that is away to Borussia Dortmund. Now, by all means, like you said, it is the perfect start for Celtic in their Champions League campaign to absolutely coast past Slovan Bratislava. And I watched the game from start to finish, and the one thing that always takes me back watching that game is just hearing the entire sellout crowd of Paradise, who just produce an atmosphere like no one else. And it's special. It's really special to witness.
It's spine-tingling stuff. And I think, Slovan Bratislava, they've done amazing to qualify. Come through 4 rounds of qualifications.
Really, really tough road to be where they are. Yeah,
but I think,
absolutely.
when all of a sudden they were in that crowd and they heard the noise, and I think, maybe they got a little bit caught up in it. I don't think they played to their full potential.
They made a bit of noise. I'll give them that. They made a bit of noise.
I think Vice probably, again, he was coming back to a place that he knew was going to get a real hostile atmosphere. I think he's a vocal point for him. He's a talisman, and he played poorly, so that kind of seeped out and affected the rest of the squad. But yeah, overall, mate, couldn't be happier. 10 goals scored across 2 games, one of them being a Champions League game, one of them putting us in place for a semi-final against arguably the informed team in Scotland, Aberdeen. And of course Rangers don't get them, they get Motherwell, of course. That's what it is, I guess.
I think they need it. Like, let them have it.
But yeah, so Hampden semi-final time. It'll be, if they continue the form they're in, it'll be an absolute cracker. So yeah, happy with it. Like I said, St Johnstone up next, so not looking too far ahead, and mainly not looking too far ahead because Borussia Dortmund, they're quite good, aren't they? Although I don't want to ruin performance of the week. I don't want to ruin performance of the week.
I was going to say, don't give it away just yet. I mean, it's not mine. I know that for sure. It's not mine.
Because they might not. They may have become undone lately, or some may say undav.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Wow.
Moving on. We need to get off that
fair
one
play.
quickly.
On the spot, I'll give you that. That was pretty good. I'll appreciate that. I mean, if there was one thing, like, obviously, what a big important factor is in the Champions League is having that squad rotation. Do you feel that Celtic have a better rotation in their ranks right now than they did the previous year?
100%. I think Brendan said it on the actual. I'm not sure if it was pre-match or I think it was pre-match where he said this was the most confident that he had felt in a squad, in his time at Celtic going into the competition. The state that we're in, the players that we have at the club, the options that we have off the bench. So, no, I was more than happy with what we had to come off. I would have liked to see Luke McCowan. Sorry. I think that's the Celtic fan in me. I just would love to see the boy.
Yeah, no, I completely get it.
We were 5-1 up. I'd love to see them experience that. And actually, just touching on the cup tie, Narovski come on as well. Fucking.
No. I noticed that.
So
I checked on the score center. That's what I did. Like I just.
When we're looking overall at the options, we know we've seen Narovski play. We know that he's a decent player. I don't think at this precise moment in time,
I'd say, yeah.
I don't think he will get in front of Scales. Austin Trusty, I mean, he looked okay. Difficult to tell on that performance because like the first half was pretty shaky. The second half, he didn't really have a lot to do. So difficult really to gauge.
Very hard to trust. Yeah. There we go. We're level now. Right.
But yeah, overall, really, really happy. And hopefully I can give you at some point this year, I can give you a reaction after taking in the East End of Glasgow's Coliseum on a European night, although it may be as far away as January. The young boys fixture is looking very much like, well, it was looking very much like the game, and now we've booked a wedding, so that may fall by the wayside. So stay tuned. Who knows? Well, in the Welsh capital, we witnessed what would be the final nail in the coffin for Erol Bulut. Vincent Tan, I guess like much of his life, prematurely strikes again and decides that sacking another manager is the way to go. After a pretty. I don't want to say poor display because ultimately after 23 minutes, Bagan sent off. It's a pretty straightforward decision. He's tried to go for the ball. He's mistimed it. Ultimately, he's last man. I mean, your man's bumped up pretty quickly and tried to score, and he's got back. But I think it's a pretty routine red card on first viewing. And then subsequently after that, you've succumbed to having 10 men. A lot of things still to go through. There was penalties. There was pretty good goalkeeping display in there from Anik as well, I think. But I'm gonna let you have the spotlight and the limelight because I think there's some stuff you need to work through.
I think we need to change the entire structure of who runs the club. If I'm completely honest. I mean,
we've known that for a long time, though.
Yeah, no, and that's been the case since day one, if I'm completely honest. I mean, going off of the Leeds game, thinking about it, and I think I spoke to you about it briefly, Gondor. It is a red card. I know there was part of me that thought, like, well, Willie Gnonto gets to his feet and he takes the chance on goal, but ultimately it is last man and Gnonto could easily stay down for it and it would have been given the red card regardless. And if I'm being completely honest, we didn't play as well as when we had 11 men on the field. It felt like those players knew what was coming, as did Erol Bulut, by the way he spoke in his post-press conference. They knew the writing was on the wall. They knew he was out the door. And that was the case not even 24 hours after the result. So, like, I do feel a change was needed. Something didn't feel right come the start of the season, especially after we've had such a fantastic transfer window, in my opinion. We had a really good pre-season, and we saw not even a shadow of that come the start of the championship campaign. I mean, of course, yeah, we picked up a valiant point over the Jacks at their place, but prior to that and past that, the performances have been well under par, by all means. I mean, that players were walking when it came to that Leeds game, not even pressing them, no urgency, no aggression. There was nothing. It was a lifeless performance. And if there's one player that I would give any credit to is Jack Anik for the penalty save and for him keeping us in the game. If anything, I didn't think we could get anything out of that game, especially when Joel Bagan got the red card. But ultimately, yeah, he stops it from being 6-7-0. He stops it from being a cricket score. And, they take the first goal really well. And then that Jack cunt comes on and adds a second. Like, yeah, he may have a haircut like Joey Essex, but he's got a face like Harvey Price, giving it to the Cardiff fans. Fuck him, Joel Pirro. Fuck him. But like I said, the writing was on the wall. You could just tell. And yeah, that's our 11th manager who has been given his marching orders in the 14-year span of Vincent Tan's ownership at the club. And
let's pause for a minute, right? Because that stat is utterly barbaric. Because let's not forget, right? There's promotions in there as well. There's promotions, so there's successful seasons there that resulted in obviously going to the Premier League. So you can't say like, oh well, maybe it's like one a season. No, you've got to discount those seasons, those successful seasons. This guy sacked 11 people by getting 2 promotions to the Premier League.
Yep. So there was Malky and Warnock make up for 6 seasons out of those 14.
Yeah, that's mental, right? Like how many? Okay, you can sack a manager. Like as only you can think this isn't working. The players aren't playing for him. He's lost the dressing room. He's not, playing under the style that we want to play under, whatever. Right, fair enough. But if you discredit 6 seasons and then from there, taking out 2 of those people that you've sacked, so putting those aside, the 6 seasons, 9 people.
9 people in, what was it again?
14 years.
So that's in 8 years. 8 years, 9 managers.
That is...
Do you know how horrifying that sounds?
And names that we went through before we obviously got on air, and some of the names like Neil Harris, Trollope, Slade, but to name a few, like how were they ever going to be successful? Like Hudson, I know he was.
I felt bad for Hudson because I felt he was sort of just chucked into the role at the time. But there's many names.
That comes down again to the guy at the top thinking this guy's ready. Like you could even argue to a degree Steve Morrison, because while it was semi-okay, look at where he had to go back to. He was at Hornchurch. That's where
Sutton. But again, that's the levels that they found themselves at.
Just to give you a point here as well, 4 of those 11 managers were sacked in the same calendar year that they were signed.
Yeah.
Meaning that they've ended a season and not even been given the chance to continue with what they've been doing.
Like it's an absolute circus, like an absolute circus.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head, mate. You've absolutely hit the nail on the head. And all we've got running our club right now, and this is the nicest way I'm going to describe them, they're part-timers. Completely part-timers.
But to being an owner and being a part-time owner, right? You look at the who's the guy that runs Arsenal? Begins with a K.
Stan Kroenke.
Kroenke. Right. That guy's more invested in American football, right? But there is a structure. There's Edu. There's Arteta and his. Obviously, I don't know the full structure of Arsenal, but we know about Edu.
That's it. That we know about Edu. Yeah.
There's clearly a structure in place, right, that supports him not being there or overseeing that structure's there. So you can be a part-time owner, but what you've got to do is employ football people that then go and make sure that your club's in the best position. If we throw back 20 years, right? All right, Cardiff didn't have the promotions and they didn't have, the lovely new grand that's the Cardiff City Stadium, beautiful stadium, Ninian Park and grit and that. But you were never in this kind of fucking mess. Like I've seen Cardiff many a times, and whether it was Robert Earnshaw or Hasselbank or Whitnam or Fowler or Bothroyd or these guys, Chopra, like there was this togetherness. You were travelling across the UK getting shit every single week, every time you went away about being a Welsh team in an English league, but there was this togetherness, there was this grit. And whether it's Bullets kind of thought, fuck this, but Cardiff have lost that this season. There's no grit. There was semi-grit in the second half of the derby, but not really.
Do you know what really hit home for me yesterday? I called my dad, and he said he's a Wrexham fan. Do you know how fucking mental that sounds? I'm following this club because of him, who brought me up and indulged me into a Welsh family that taught me to follow the Bluebirds from the fucking ranks of Division 2, which was League 1 back in the day, and following their journey all the way up. Yes, we've had ups in the Premier Leagues. We've had down in the fucking Championship. I mean, this is the lowest we've been. And because he's watched a fucking Disney Plus series over Wrexham because they got really good owners and they've taken in the culture of the city, the town, and it's now known as a city, and they've invested heavily into the club and brought them up to where they are. That is what fucking hurts the most. That's what hurts the most. Because Wrexham are technically a rival of ours. They're a Welsh side in the English League. We see Swansea exactly the same. And now, of course, Wrexham have come from very humble beginnings and have come and worked their way up through the English football pyramid. But for my old man to sit there and say that I love Wrexham, I love watching them play, and they've done so well. Their owners are so, they're so accounting and accommodating to their football club.
Yeah,
that is everything that I fucking dream of at my club.
Mate, Wrexham are sport washing the lower divisions, for fuck's sake. Like, what happens when they hit the championship and fucking Deadpool and his pal can't pump in the money that just fucking drives them to the top? Then who does he support? Fucking, they've still got Paul Mullin up top, for fuck's sake. He's best known for saying fuck the in his boots.
Exactly. Fuming with it. I'm fucking fuming with it because we've got an owner who has become, he's always been so detached from reality. You see clubs, like you said, like Stan Kroenke was a prime example. Someone who has multiple ownerships across many franchises, whether it's from American football, baseball, whatever, to owning Arsenal Football Club. Vincent Tan doesn't get that. Because Kroenke has set up a team around him, which you need in football. You need chief negotiators. You need a director of football. You need a technical director. You need all these things. We've got fuck all of that. We've got a chairman and
what you need in those positions. What you need in those positions is people that understand the game.
Exactly.
There's no point in employing, the people that Cardiff have because they don't care. But the more baffling piece of this is even if you're running it like a business, being shit is not good for business. Now, they can say that they've invested, but chopping and changing and whatever has gone on, right, that has led to Erol Bulut's team playing... This wasn't the Cardiff for last season. The Cardiff for last season, we were having slow whispers in February saying the playoffs aren't too far away.
They were realistic at one point, yeah.
Now all of a sudden you've got a cold sweat going, if we don't win our next game, right, you're already starting to count the points you're away from fucking 21st.
This is it, and just to note as well, this is the worst ever start to a league campaign in 94 years. It's unbelievable, and like I said, I don't know what has gone on behind the scenes where this team, who I thought looked promising and pulled out some really, really good spells during last season under Erol Bulut, to then watch us go and lose 5 out the first 6 games.
And to pull the trigger, 23 days after the window slams shut, so Bulut's brought in the players that he wants to play a system that he wants. Now you've got to go and bring a manager in and say, this is what you've got until January. And then he's going to have to haggle over whether he'll get funds to even build a squad in his image. It's mental. And I don't know who's currently managing the under-21s, so the reserves.
Darren Purse. Darren Purse.
Put your money,
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets brought up
for 3 months.
Wouldn't be surprised if he gets brought up when he gets given the boot in January.
Yeah, 100%.
And this is what I felt bad for with Steve Morrison, who was fantastic with our under-21. Unbelievable. He went on a fantastic run with them. Got brought up to the first team because everything went to shit with who was it at the time there? So Steve Morrison, it probably was Mick McCarthy at the time, if I remember rightly.
It was.
Was it Mick McCarthy? And then it was the same thing when Steve Morrison got the boot as well. Mark Hudson, brought up from the under-21s, gets given the boot in a matter of months. Like, we can't... It's a cycle I am not unfamiliar with, but it's a cycle that just does not happen at any other club whatsoever. And honestly, like, the person who... I don't even know how this job would sell any manager right now. Because
they would have to have an affiliation with the club, let's be honest.
Yes.
Like the name that you stated the other day, Nathan Jones, was it?
Nathan Jones.
Yeah.
And I think the job is set up for him perfectly. But I obviously, because he's a Cardiff fan, and of course had a fantastic spell at Luton. Things didn't go so well at Southampton, but has been out of the job for a while now, for a good year and a bit now, I think. And so it's a very unique job to take on with some very, very tough ownership. And
Nathan Jones has a managerial job.
who's he managing right now?
Charlton Athletic.
Fuck off. Does he really? Well, you know what? I still think the club has every right to approach him. Don't get me wrong. I know Charlton have had a good start to life in League One this season.
36% win percentage, so that's about 16, 20% better than what yours is at the moment.
Oh, fucking everyone and their dog's got a better win ratio than we fucking do right now. But no, honestly, I think this job screams out for Nathan Jones, and if we approach him, he'll take it in a heartbeat. But by all means, I'll heavily warn him, and of course, if he follows the club, he'll know how much of a fucking shit show it is upstairs with that circus. And ultimately, it's even come out as well today that the Cardiff City Supporters Trust have seeked a meeting with the hierarchy. Whether they'll get it, probably fucking not, because they're so distant and so detached from the club. But we as fans deserve we deserve a response in terms of where the fuck is this club going? Which direction we going in? Are you looking to sell the club? Are you going to fucking stay on as part-timers and just hire any Tom, Dick and Harry at the helm? I don't know. I really don't know. And like I said last week, I said that if Erol Bulut doesn't get a result against Leeds, then that's him done. And I'm really wanting him to get things right because, like I said, I thought we did a pretty decent job last season, finishing mid-table and had a really good transfer window. He managed to attract some really good players. And yeah, for whatever reason, something didn't click, and I don't know if there was a disconnection amongst the squad with individual players. This is something that we probably will not find out for the next couple of years, if not ever. And so, but look, I think Erol Bulut goes with my best wishes, because like I said, he did his first season at the helm. I thought he gave us some good bright spots last season. You know, breaking the duck against Swansea, doing the double against the Wurzels. He gave us some bright spots. I mean, the win against Ipswich, when we scored 2 goals in the 9 minutes of added time we had against them. Like, he gave us some fond memories, and he even gave out, he even sent out an open letter to us on social media saying how much he appreciates the club and how much he will never forget the fan support and all that malarkey. But no, I wish him all the best in his future endeavours, and I hope he does find himself at a club who is a little bit more hands-on than what we are at Cardiff. So, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if things continue the way they are with this hierarchy that we have at the moment. And I hate to say it, but we're staring right in the face of League One. Like, we're licking the shins of League One right now. It hurts, man.
And it doesn't taste good.
It fucking hurts. No, it don't taste good. It's fucking... It's salty, it's hairy, it's like fucking...
It's Birmingham-y.
Birmingham-y, Huddersfield-y, like...
I mean...
Charlton-y, Burton-y, like, I fucking hate that fucking... I hate those flavours.
I could be mistaken here, but having spent time with you watching football, correct me if I'm wrong, Cardiff tend to have a better second half of the season anyway. Like, the number of times you've been teasing relegation zone and then ended up upper mid-half table when the season's over.
Yeah, I think that really comes with the... Obviously, we have a bit of a jump when we have a new manager come in. Like, Mark Hudson, it was a little bit more stuttered, and I'm pretty sure we've had that with other managers. I think Sabri, Lamucci as well was a little bit stuttered. But I think it's the sense of having something fresh, having a bit more emotion and some urgency to get results on the board. And yeah, it does do us favours, but Like I said, we've had managers who have come in at this time of the season, steadied the ship in the likes of Neil Warnock, and then he went and completely shithoused the league the following season. But we haven't had that since Warnock, and so like I said.
I also want to give you this statistic for you. As much as Vincent Tan's not helping, he's not the sole cause of this problem. In the last 25 years, 30 years, Cardiff City have had 21 managers, only nine of which have stayed for longer than a season.
Well, let's just say our previous owner before two previous owners we had before Vincent Tan weren't great either. Yeah. They weren't as delusioned as he was.
You want to go back. Your second ever manager lasted 22 years.
Must have done all right.
Yeah, he must have. Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, what was it? So 22 years. Wait, what you say that was?
1911 to 1933.
Well, he won us an FA Cup, so that probably speaks volumes. That's probably why he stayed for so fucking long.
No one else has managed to last even close.
Yep, and no other Welsh club has got triangle corners. So shut the fuck up to Swansea and Wrexham fans, including you, Dad.
I also want to point out that those 21 managers I mentioned do not include caretaker managers, of which there were a further.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, we've had caretaker managers as well at the helm. Like we had Dean Whitehead after Hudson left. We had one after that little short spell when what's his face Malky Mackay left, and then
that was Kerslake.
Kerslake, that was it, and then. There was another one as well, off the top of my head. Who was it? Can't remember who it was. Scott Young.
And Daniel Gabidon.
Gabidon, yeah, they were a dual caretaker.
And now also you technically have Omar Reza.
Now we have Omar Reza. Yeah, so good times ahead, least to say. And look, honestly, it's so good that we re-record a few days later, because it'd be a completely different mood that I'd be in right now. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. If we go down to League One, it's all what Vincent Tan deserves. It's all what he deserves for not setting up a structure within the club. If you're going to be distant from the club and you're going to be focusing on other areas of your business, then by all means go ahead and do it. But at least set yourself up to be able to make profit as a businessman and set yourself up to succeed.
I mean, surely your hope at the moment is, with this being the worst start and with you sat rock bottom, this is the most obvious time for Tan to try and sell. Well, you are still a championship club, and before you go down to League One and the stocks fall.
Honestly, personally speaking, my hope right now is to not be on suicide watch, because I'm very close to that, if I'm honest. But that's what that's the way it is. But yes, no, I think Vincent Tan. He keeps saying that he's bound to take a loss on the club, and it's his own wrongdoing, by all means. Once upon a time we were a Premier League club, and the club was together. Everyone was in tune with one another, like the fans, the coaching staff, the ownership didn't really get a mention. Good reason for that, because we were doing well. But things have got so sour now, and it's happened multiple times over the last 14 years. Questions need to be asked. And it can't go on for any longer. It really can't. If I had £100 million right now, I'd take over that club in a heartbeat. And I tell you what, I'd have you two boys running the club if I was going to be a little bit of a part-timer, that's for sure. But I know what you do, and of course I'd be hands-on as well. Because we're football fans. We love football. That was what was embedded in us, in our culture, in our upbringing. Stu, you're just...
Yeah, I was going to say less so for me. I literally follow football because of you.
Yeah. I know. You'll just be like, "Oh, make sure Ruben Colwell gets a 5-star hotel on a pre-season."
Oh, absolutely, mate. Mate,
Yeah,
you buy that club and get me involved. I'm giving Ruben a lifelong deal.
mate, you buy him a house. I know you would. I'll be like, "Yeah, go on then. Let Ruben have a house of his own." Yeah. Don't know if you're allowed to make babies with him, but yeah, go on.
I mean, that's gone a bit far. Bit far.
Bit far. Sorry. All right, let's move on to our next segment. Performance of the week. Mayhem, what is your nomination for performance of the week?
This is quickfire performance of the week.
Okay.
Stuttgart 5-1 over Dortmund, giving me hope that they may actually be penetrable in a few weeks. Undav at the brace. Stuttgart performance of the week.
There we go. And I must say that was very close to being my nomination as well, but there was one performance that stuck out to me on last Friday night. Not going Katy Perry with this by all means. So mine is, it's not even an individual either. It is an actual football team for the first time in the last 2 to 3 weeks that we've been recording. My nomination goes to a French side known as Nice. Nice managed to beat opposition Saint Etienne by 8-0. And what added a little bit more of a sweeter touch to it is that I discovered that there was a boy from Dortmund who I do believe is on loan, and he is my football manager love child, Youssoufa Moukoko. Got on the score sheet in that 8-0 route. He got two. Oh, even
You got a
better.
brace.
Oh my God, it's given me a semi. But Nice are my nomination for performance of the week.
Nice.
Gondor, who are you going with out of those two?
I'm cheating a little bit. Give me a second.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, I took your two performances. I'm looking at the stat lineup of them. And
He's
I'm
going in depth with it.
yeah, absolutely.
Looking
I
at XG and everything.
it doesn't give you XG,
Yes,
but I'm going to say it's fucking close. It's going to have to be Nice.
Is it going to be Nice? Okay.
It's going to be Nice. They edged it in possession and pass accuracy, as well as taking a few extra shots.
Oh, mate, he has gone proper Rain Man on you, man. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But by all means, no, we should not kill off Celtic's momentum going into their Champions League campaign.
No,
It's a huge
gives us
result
hope.
that can definitely take its toll when it comes to when they welcome Celtic next week.
And they only have one more game before that, whereas I believe you have two.
Well, also, just bear in mind, where are Dortmund right now in the Bundesliga?
Fifth, I believe.
They're fifth.
I will double check that because I just looked at it.
I don't know.
Eighth.
Eighth in the table. Okay, they haven't had the best of starts to life this season.
They have 7 points
Stop.
from.
Oh, mate, hope is that ultimate killer. Stop doing it.
Okay, I'll stop.
Name or hope, right? What's next?
What's next? We know what's next. Are you ready, Gondor?
I'm ready, man.
I've had some withdrawal symptoms from last week from a certain segment that you like to hold for us, and that is fucked it up. Gondor syllables. There you go.
That's what happens when you have a week off.
I know. Rusty. Right, what have you got for us this week?
All right, this one. Speaking of going Rain Man on you,
Oh God.
I've gone financial on this one. This is a
What?
two-parter, so I want to know if you can work out the top 10 season ticket prices in Europe, and I'll give you a clue for that one. They are all Premier League teams.
Are you talking about in terms of how much that they cost the most?
Yeah, which one costs the most?
Okay, right. So
And-
Bundesliga ruled out completely.
Well, I've just said that they're all Premier League.
Okay.
And I've got the cost as well as how much they increased it in percentage from last season.
Okay. How many lives do we get collectively? 6 lives?
6 lives collectively.
Okay. Look, Mayhem, I think we know who number 1 is.
Yeah.
Well, I think we know. Number 1 is got to be, and I'm going to kick myself if I don't get this right. It's got to be Arsenal.
Arsenal costs, and to give you perspective as well, these are the cheapest standard adult ticket prices.
Yes. Okay.
So Arsenal costs £1,073 per season.
That's mental for a
That-
season ticket, you know.
That one, by the way, I believe, let me double check my research here. That one is 6 times the cost of Bayer Leverkusen season ticket.
Yep, don't surprise me.
But they increased their price by 10.2% from last season. So that's nearly £100 more for the
It
ticket.
was Arsenal or Leverkusen?
Arsenal.
Arsenal, okay.
Sort of title pusher do. Was that the most expensive?
That's number one, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say we stay in North London because Daniel Levy is an absolute money merchant, and I believe they'll be up there as well. Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur are second, £856 a season. They increased by 6.1% from last season.
Yep.
You might feel sorry for Spurs. Always second to Arsenal, no matter what it is. Fucking hell.
Oh, that's great, isn't it?
Next.
Do we still keep it in London?
Who are you thinking?
Actually, no. Their stadium's shit.
Flip it.
I'll give you a clue. That's for you, Vinny. That's for you.
Billionaire owners.
No, see, that's from my dad's mate Vinny. We're not saying Chelsea's got the most season tickets. Whatever the fuck it is. Well, even that as well.
I think it'll be on the top 10, mate.
It will be in the top 10, but it won't be top 3. That's for sure.
No,
As like their team will.
Get them out of the way.
As like their team won't be either. So.
You want to go for it?
Chelsea are third with £810. They increased by 8% from last season.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be cut from the published episode.
So
fucking Londoners, mate.
to be veer slightly north, then and end up in Manny.
Well, I think we got to go.
Can I just point out? I feel like you should only have 3 lives for this one because there are only 20 teams in the Premier League. Maybe. So you're 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
Surely the sport washing 115 charges. They've got to charge a little bit more for all those court cases.
They do. Go.
Manchester City.
Manchester City are 17th with £425 a season.
What?
Reasonable.
Okay.
Bearing in mind, I believe Manchester City, you have to be part of the supporters club to buy a season ticket.
Power to the people, eh?
Well, City do claim themselves as the People's Club of Manchester, don't they?
Wow. All right, well, I'm going to go straight off the bat. I'm going to go with Liverpool.
Liverpool are fourth, £713.
Yeah, always clutching Champions League. That's what they do.
Fun fact for you. They are the third lowest increase with only a 2% increase in their season ticket price.
Of course.
Well, I'll stay in Manchester. I may get shit on twice here, but United.
So United, before we started this, I did say I was having trouble finding number 10. All of my research tells me Manchester United are 10th place. £579 a ticket, 3.6% increase.
Okay. Right. I'm going to go... I think the new ownership as well has really pumped things up, especially with them getting Champions League last season. I'm going to go with Newcastle.
Newcastle are fifth. £662, 10.3%.
I did see a thing on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah,
Stan Collymore was calling out the pricing of the Champions League tickets for Aston Villa, also around parking as well. So I get the feeling they may have took a spike in season tickets. So Aston Villa.
Aston Villa are sixth, £640 a season, 4.9% increase.
Nicely done. Nicely done. I'm going to go with a team here who has never been relegated from the top division even. They've recently. What you? He's getting attacked by a fly.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, mate, did I not tell you? Mate, I've got to tell you boys what I had come into my apartment the other week. I don't know what it was, but it was that big, just on the side of my window. It's a fucking grasshopper. Fucking scared the shit out of me.
Well, you said you don't know what it was, and you just told
it was either a grasshopper or a praying mantis, and it kept twitching when I kept touching it, and it fucking scared the shit out of me, man. Horrible. Anyway, my next guess is Everton.
Everton are the ones that are in 11th place.
Oh, fuck.
They
got a new fucking stadium and everything. They've been
They decreased their season ticket price by 7.5%. They charge £555.
All right. Okay.
We're locking in there.
So you only have 3 left to guess, by the way. 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, and 9.
Let's think. Surely, just because the rest of the London clubs were pricey, West Ham in that big stadium.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That is.
West Ham.
West Ham are in 20th with £345 a season ticket.
Breaking the mould. Fair play.
All right. Okay.
Pressure's on.
Pressure is on. Brighton?
Brighton are 9th.
Yes.
£595. 5.3% increase.
So what are we looking for? 7 and 8?
7 and 8.
1 life left?
3 lives left.
All right, 3 hours. All right, no bother. Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest, nope.
Are they not? Really?
Nottingham Forest are 12th, £550, and they had the biggest price increase with second biggest price increase with 18.3% from last season.
Right.
Chumps.
Okay. Oh shit. I feel there's going to be a championship club in there somewhere.
All Prem.
They're all Prem. Okay.
They're all Prem.
I would go... Wait. Who did you say, Joel? You said
Forest.
Okay. Ooh, Leicester.
Leicester are not in there. Leicester are 18th, £404 a ticket. Season.
Oh wait, hang on. Ooh, go on. You.
I'm gonna say Wolves.
And Wolves are not in there. They charge £525.
I was going to say Fulham.
Fulham are in there. Wolves are 14th. I'll give you Fulham. Fulham was 8th. They charge £619.
All right, can you give us one last guess for the final one?
One last guess for the final one.
So who have we got left then?
Who have we got left?
Brentford, Palace.
Brentford, Palace. Did we say Bournemouth?
Ipswich. Bournemouth, I think. Southampton.
Southampton might be a good shout. Thinking of like longevity, Southampton. I've got a feeling about Southampton, you know.
Right, go for it.
Southampton are 16th. They had.
What the fuck was it then?
It was Bournemouth.
Fuck's sake!
Bournemouth charged £633 a ticket.
Club that didn't have a fucking sufficient capacity a few years ago.
Just to tell you, Southampton were the biggest increase this season, but they only charge £479.
I'm sure I did.
So, unfortunately, I think I win that one. You had one left.
Yep.
Yeah, well done, mate. Well done. Good job.
And then
if
you want to follow up, I have a harder one for you.
Well, you say it was a 2-part one.
Yeah, well, the follow-up is the second part.
Well, we've got to do the second part now, haven't we?
So the first part was Europe's most expensive season tickets. Can you tell me Europe's cheapest season tickets? And for this one, I can give you the league, the country, the cost.
Right,
In a word,
all in British
no.
pounds.
wait. Can I also ask as well?
Yeah.
How many of those top 10 are Bundesliga clubs?
4.
4. Right. Okay.
Only 4.
4. Can't be Italian clubs. Surely not.
1 Italian.
1 Italian club. This is
mate,
going to be horrific, you know.
6 lives.
The rest of them, by the way, the other 5 are all French.
Brilliant.
And they all play in top division.
That's very un-French-like.
6 lives.
Am I cutting that out? Sorry.
You start.
All right. I think I'll play it safe with a Bundesliga club. I'm going to go Borussia Dortmund.
Borussia Dortmund are not on the list.
No.
We're off to a
It's
fucking
cheap-
flyer here, man.
Mate, it's the cheaper, so it's not going to be any of the high-end Bundesliga clubs.
Yeah, but they've always kept...
Yeah,
Whatever, go on.
They're all fan-owned. Bar like one, aren't they? They're all fan-owned, though. So they all have that fucking, whatever it is, 51-49 rule.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a team that used to be close to my heart, and then certain opinions, we'll not get into it, kicked off. St. Pauli.
St. Pauli is not on the list. Wait.
When was this list updated?
This list was updated July 26th of this year.
So had they technically flicked over? Is because they got promoted?
Yes, these were for the 24-25 season.
Right, I really feel that we've got to utilise these clues, though. I really do feel, because this is going to be a very difficult list to name. Right, so I'm very caught up on. You said there was 4 Bundesliga teams?
4 Bundesliga teams.
Okay. Would you consider any of them to be within the top 4?
Yes.
Okay. It definitely ain't going to be Leipzig.
Stuttgart finished in the top 4, didn't they? They're in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go with Stuttgart.
Stuttgart are not in the list.
Oh, bunch of greedy bastards, man.
Well, let's just say Bayer Leverkusen, because I feel like that's the most generic top 4 Bundesliga team at the moment. Leverkusen
are not in the list.
What's the fucking point? We should have fucking ended it on
what is the most top 4 team you can possibly think of?
Munich.
Bayern Munich are tied 8th on the list, £143.
They're tied 8th?
£143 per ticket.
Right, I'm going to take a shot in the dark then. Werder Bremen.
Werder Bremen, no.
Of course they're fucking not.
No, another shot in the dark. Union Berlin.
No.
Keep shooting in the dark, mate. You can change it to French teams if you want.
Yeah, all right, okay. Right, French. I'm going to go with, a club that had to fucking cut their costs, surely. I'm going to go with Saint Etienne.
No.
This list, I don't know, mate. I don't know where to go with this.
How many lives have you got left?
Oh, you're well out.
We've used them.
I'm just letting you shoot in the dark to see if you can work it out.
We'll keep shooting. Mainz,
no.
All right,
shooting.
I'm going to go with Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg, yes, 7th in the list.
Yeah.
135 a ticket.
All right, so that's one. We got
2.
Wait, who's... Oh, Bayern Munich as well, yeah.
Hoffenheim.
Hoffenheim are 6th in the list, 126.
Now we're fucking cooking!
So you've got 1 Bundesliga team left.
Oh, who do we think for the last Bundesliga team?
I would say mid-table.
Mid-table.
I do have the Bundesliga table open from this season. Let me look at last season.
Actually, I've got one.
Yeah, I'd say upper mid-table.
Eintracht Frankfurt.
No.
Shit.
Is it the club that we stole Arnie Engels from?
I have no idea. Wolfsburg.
Augsburg.
Augsburg. No.
Shit.
I did not even know
Put
this
their
club
prices up after
existed.
that sale of fucking Arnie Engels.
No.
I did not know this club existed. I will not lie to you.
Didn't know this club existed.
So they must be like mid-table obscurity.
Oh, is it someone like Paderborn or someone?
It's not Paderborn.
Okay.
I don't know if they're in the league anymore. Are they?
Paderborn aren't in the league anymore.
Oh, they got relegated.
Is it that one that begins with H? That Heidenheim?
It is exactly Heidenheim.
Is it Heidenheim? Oh, mate, that's where we got fucking Robert Glatzel from.
Yeah, so I've never had them. So those are all your Bundesliga teams.
All right, Heidenheim. Okay.
You have one Italian team and then the rest are French. Oh, no, wait, sorry. One Italian team, one Spanish team, and the rest are French.
Wait, is the Italian team in Serie A right now?
Yes, let me just get the table up to double check. Serie A table. Yes, they are.
They are in Serie A. Okay.
And last season, they were there last season as well.
They were there last season as well.
Mid-table again.
Mid-table. All right. Cagliari?
No.
Verona?
It is Verona, yes. £59 a ticket.
Hey, this guy's on fire! He's on fire!
They are in third place.
Holy shitballs.
That is what you call shooting in the dark.
So do you want to go for the one Spanish team?
This is why he had a better KD ratio on COD. One Spanish team. Getafe.
No. I'm going to guess that they're about mid-table again. Oh, they're actually doing all right this season.
Oh, mate, it's gonna be
last season they were mid-table.
It's gonna be. Okay, all right.
This season they're upper mid-table, just outside of the important positions.
Osasuna.
Osasuna it is. They are tied top, £42 a ticket.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this evening. If you're on YouTube,
I absolutely quit, mate. Like, what is going on here?
Well, 4 French teams, all in Ligue 1.
Jesus Christ. Well, that was definitely a challenge for us this week, by all means.
Do you want the 4 French teams just given to you, or do you want to have a shot in the dark for those?
Wait, for the 4 French teams?
Yeah.
All right, okay, let's go for the French teams. Is Lyon one of them?
No.
Shit.
Strasbourg.
No.
Oh, the run.
Mate. Oh, wait, is it, is Brest one of them?
Brest is number 1, £42 a
ticket. Always rely on the breasts.
Toulouse?
Nothing, no Toulouse in there.
Right, okay, right, come on. I've got some momentum here. Oh, who should we go with? French teams. Marseille.
No.
Shit.
Auxerre.
No.
AU. No.
What other French team going to go with? Nice?
No.
Shit.
Rennes?
No.
That was a good shout, actually.
Who was that French team that they're in the Champions League this year? They come out of the blue.
Is it Stade de Reims or whatever his name is? Stade de Reims?
Reims. Yeah, Reims.
Managed by that who is it? Will Still that managed them.
Is he still there?
Oh, you mean
no,
no, they're not in it.
No, okay.
RC Lens?
No.
Nantes?
No. One of them is rock bottom right now.
What is rock bottom right now?
I don't know what the French league looks like.
Oh shit. Angers?
Angers are rock bottom. They are 8th, tied with Bayern Munich.
That is ridiculous French knowledge.
Angers.
And then the last 2 are
Montpellier.
Montpellier is one of them.
Shout.
They're 5th with 110.
And it's one Lille.
No.
Shit.
We've basically battered the whole league. Just tell us who it is.
It's Le Havre.
Le Havre. Oh.
They charge £101.
Oh, I was going to say PSG.
I'm surprised PSG did not gazump one of those top 10 Premier League.
Hang on, no. Like, look, no, I'm not going to say it because I'll get banned. Yeah, they're a really nice team. Lovely city.
Right. It's time to wrap up.
Time to wrap things up. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Pleasure as always. Thank you, Gondor, for your tenables. Mayhem, thank you very much for your enlightenment over what seems to be a very promising time for Celtic, for the boys in green, and all the best going forward in the league campaign, domestic campaign, and of course the European campaign.
Thank you, mate.
Ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are new to the Football Podcast, you can check us out on all audio platforms, including Spotify and Apple. Go follow us over on TikTok as well, where we upload clips during the week. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and ring that bell for notifications. And until next time, ladies and gents, I bid you all good night and the star.